am Jessica Sonneborn from The Haunting of Alice D. You are watching The 13th Wolfman. Oh!
Hey everyone, you know who I am. I'm the 13th Wolfman. You know how I have with me today? I have JoAnn Thomas. She is one of the organizers for the Fantastic Horror Film Festival going on. Welcome to Sit Down, JoAnn.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the film festival.
Okay, let's see. First thing you need to know is when the film festival is. And it's going to be the weekend before Halloween. And it's looking pretty exciting this year. We have about a dozen feature films and 28, I think, short films coming up over 3 days.
Yeah, I've looked at some of the trailers for the short films and for the features, and I must say that one of the ones that jumped out at me that looks like it'd be a fun movie is The Master and Me.
Yeah, that one. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
That is a film I haven't really watched myself, but I do know that Erwin Keys is in it, and we actually have an award for people who have passed away over each year that have been connected to our festival, called the Erwin Keys Memorial Award, and we give that out last year was our first year, obviously, since he died last year. But that's something we want to keep going for the foreseeable future, just to recognize the people that have passed away.
It was kind of interesting as I was watching. I was like, oh my God, there's, this movie looks good, but then they showed the credits like Erwin Keys. I'm like, man, this guy's done everything. He was a producer at one time, and that was one of the things I just loved about it, because I knew that he'd passed last year,
Well, he's got a lot of credits in other areas besides horror, but and actually we had his sister and brother-in-law at our festival last year to accept the main award and join us in celebrating.
He did a lot of sci-fi action type stuff.
Yeah, and he did a number of TV shows also.
Right. Another one that looks interesting to me is They Are Mine.
Well, like I said, let me explain what I do. I do not watch the films. I do not review the films. Oh. I do everything else. Except for the webpage. My husband, who is the co-founder, takes care of our webpage, and we have seven this year, 7 judges who review all the films, and then and my husband reviews them as well. So they kind of determine what films are getting into the festival. So I don't have much of a knowledge of the films themselves, other than the synopsis.
Okay.
So I'm not very helpful there.
No, that's fine. So, when was the film festival founded? Let's talk a little bit about its history.
Okay. Back in September of 2013, I did all the paperwork, got everything started, checked to see if there was festivals in the area, and decided we had to do it. And we announced our first festival on Halloween in 2013, and that it would be in 2014. From there, we just kind of did what we could. One of the things about our festival is that we are kind of a fan-based organization. Most people who have anything to do in the horror biz, especially indie horror, have to be fans of horror, obviously. And so we treat everyone that comes to our festival as a fan. It doesn't matter whether you're an actor, a producer, a filmmaker, you're still a fan. So it kind of changes the way people see us. Everything starts on time. If your butt's not in the seat when the show starts, too bad, because we want to make sure that, like a regular movie theater, people know where to be at a particular time. So that makes us different right there. I don't think since we've started that we've had one film start late. So that's a pretty good track record. We got lucky our first year. We had decided to do an outstanding award for someone who is really outstanding. It was Bill Oberts Jr. was the recipient of the first Lon Chaney Award, which got us basically noticed by a lot of people. In fact, we're better known outside of San Diego than we are in San Diego. So with that award coming out, we actually got noticed by IMDb. So it gives us it makes us more legitimate as far as the film festival is concerned.
Right, gives you a little notoriety.
Yeah, and we got on IMDb as an official event our first year, which is totally unheard of. But it was as a result of our filmmakers, our actors, everyone that was involved in the first festival petitioned IMDb to add us. And that right there was really amazing to me that we could do that the first year. So now that, whenever we do have a festival, we put all our nominations up. We actually videotape our award ceremony and put it up on YouTube and put it on IMDb as well. So we're just a little different than some of the other newer festivals that are coming along.
So you made a comment before we started, that about being a horror junkie. How long have you been a horror junkie?
Me, well, I've always enjoyed things with a kind of a horror theme in them, but I'm not really a big horror movie fan. I'm a Stephen King fan. I'm a reader more than a film watcher. But back in 2012, I went to see a film in LA called Children of Sorrow. And it totally opened up my eyes because I could see how I related to that. Not only the film itself, but the horror genre, because there's just a thread of it throughout all the movies that I really like. And like I said, I enjoy Stephen King and that type of thing. So it's been a interesting journey to get where I'm at now.
So, I mean, Stephen King, I was a big Stephen King fan growing up. I remember reading, like, Carrie in the 7th grade, I think it just came out, like, a year or two before that, in paperback. But, yeah, I love Stephen. I love reading Stephen King books. I haven't read anything. I can't think of anything more modern of his that I've read in the last 5 years, So I'm kind of like behind on his stuff.
I'm a little behind myself because now that I have the festival and we have a screenplay competition, I just got done reading the majority of over 20 screenplays for the festival this year.
Wow.
And since I've been doing that, it kind of takes me away from my favorite stuff.
But I've always been a horror fiend when it comes to movies. I mean, I grew up loving movies of all kinds. My mom used to, watch like old bogey films with me and, all this other stuff. So I grew up loving black and white, and whatnot, but I love horror. So that's the thing. This festival sounds like a blast. So it's 3 days. You've got a ton of movies, 28 shorts and a dozen feature films. And then you got another category for best screenplay.
Right, and we do have a one seminar that we're going to do on Sunday, and then we have our big award ceremony in the evening on Sunday night. It's pretty well jam packed.
And then overall, you're gonna follow us over to the Dorkening on the live show, and you're gonna announce the the nominations, the entrants?
Well, yeah, the official selections for this year. We won't have our nominations out for a little while because it takes a little bit of time to collect everything. And then we do have, once we get the nominations posted, we open up a fan voting for a week or two after that, so we can get a feel for what other people are interested in before we actually figure out who the winners are.
And if people want to follow the film festival, what's the website?
The website is fhffsd.org. It's not really a .org, it should be .com, but you know how those things go when you get started. You don't know where you're going with it, so that's where we're at. We also have a Facebook page. Anybody can find that. All I got to do is type Fantastic Horror Film Festival, and they'll find it.
Cool. Well, I want to thank you for coming on. Sit down. And like I said, let's try that.
I do that sometimes.
My tongue just got completely wound up. So are those the only two places that they can find you on the internet? Are there other places like Twitter, Instagram, Vine?
We have a Twitter at Fantastic Horror. Whatever the letters are, Fantastic HOR or RR, I'm not sure which it is. And other than that, we have a Google page somewhere. But I'm not sure. My husband takes care of the internet stuff, so I let him deal with that. And I'm not really sure where else he has us posted.
Okay. Just making sure people can find you and find the film and find the festival when they want to. But,
well, we'd love to have as many people come down and see us as possible. We're actually an international film festival, by the way. This year we have 11 films that are from outside the United States, as well as everything else. Some from England, Italy, Spain. I'm not even sure where else, but they're coming in from all over the place. So it's going to be a very interesting and fun festival this year.
Sounds like a good time. So if you're in San Diego, somewhere around Halloween, check out the Fantastic Horror Film Festival. Maybe you could see JoAnn there.
I'll be there somewhere. Actually, I probably won't even be able to see any of the movies. Yeah, what usually happens is I think, I'm going to get to watch like 6 or 8 movies. But then somebody has to take care of the business at hand, and that's usually me.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is.
Well, again, I want to thank you for coming on Sit Down. For JoAnn Thomas, I am the 13th Wolfman, and of course, I'm on the prowl.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.